All right, there we go. Okay, so today's topic is how much should I train?
Oh, Andy,
And
say hi.
Stella says hi.
Hey,
Hi,
Stella says hi.
Stella. I just did my
Olivia says
workout
well.
and I'm dying.
She said she just did the workout and she died. So I wanted to touch on this topic because there you go, Andrea is coming as well. Let's wait for Andrea. Ciao Andrea. It's connecting the audio. There you go.
Hey man,
So
let's carry on walking.
So as I was saying, I wanted to touch on this topic, how much should I train? Because there can be many misconceptions about it, especially, well, at any point of the journey, really. And so what I want to do, I divide it into some bullet points and let me go through it. So first of all, as you can imagine, obviously, experience is a big factor. So if you are new to training compared to if you are experienced, obviously how much you should train is different. Now, what happens is that we are led to believe that the more is better. And this might not be the case, because the way I see it, if you are a complete beginner, and obviously, you guys are not in the situation, but if you were a complete beginner, doing something is better than doing nothing. And you shouldn't do too much right at the start, because otherwise, how are you going to progress down the line, right? So experience is going to play a big factor in how much you should train. And in that case, if I was going to give a number of sessions, then this is the second factor that comes in, because not only experience, but also, okay, what's your goal? Because if your goal is to build muscles, I have a different number of sessions in mind compared to if your goal is to lose body fat. So you see how these things can kind of add complexity to, another layer of complexity, but really it's easy to look at it. So let's have a look at the goals. If your goal is to build muscles, then honestly, 3 to 4 sessions a week is enough, because we want to make sure that we push as hard as we can during the sessions, and then we give our body the time to recover from it. So 3 to 4 sessions. I would start with 3 if I was a beginner, and then work out to 4. And even as an experienced trainee, if you can put a good intensity into the workout, 4 times is a good number of sessions. In fact, I talk from my experience, I've been able to be the strongest I've ever been and to look the best I've ever looked training 4 times a week. And that's not to say that perhaps down the line you can go up to 5, 6. I think it starts to be a bit too much. So between 3 and 5 sessions a week, it's a good number. And I will progress the number of sessions as you progress your experience. And so this was for muscle building, because if you want to maximize the muscle building, then you want to work hard, but you want to recover harder. So if you have 7 days in a week, you work out 4 days, you give yourself 3 days to rest. Okay, then 2 days on, 1 off, 2 on, and then 2 off. That would be a good kind of schedule. But then if the goal is to lose body fat, okay, then, you know, it can still be achieved with 3 to 4 sessions a week, because what we can do, we can actually play with the nutrition. So when we play with the nutrition, then we don't really need many calories to be burned, right? Although we can help. So if we don't want to really, you know, eat less and less and less and less, then what we can do, we can add sessions. Now, what's the catch in here? What I will do, I will keep the lifting session, so like muscle building or muscle maintaining session, 3 to 4. So same rule. And then what I will do, I will add some cardio. So just, you know, burning calories or whatever, because I want to recover from the lifting sessions. The cardio session is going to be very low intensity. So if I train 3 times a week, okay, I can add a cardio session. I do that for a few weeks. Then I'm gonna add another cardio session. So now I'm training 5 times, but I'm still lifting 3, and I am doing cardio 2. So then what can I do? To progress, I can add another cardio session. So you see how, you know, if the goal is fat loss, obviously we're looking at burning more calories or eat less calories. So we can play with calories, but we can also play with the sessions, as long as we use those cardio sessions to just burn some calories rather than kill ourselves. Because if I end up doing 3 killer lifting workouts, and then I do 3 hard, even if it just run, we kill the run, right? 3 times a week. Now I've been training 6 times a week, really high intensity, you're not giving the body the time to recover, the chance to recover, and it would be hard to maintain the muscle. Yes, we might lose weight, but it would be really hard to maintain the muscle. So for me, from a fat loss perspective, it's not as efficient. So you see how, you know, you can play with the variables. And I also gave some example. So yes, if you guys, do you have any questions about what I just said? Is there anything particular that I said that you want to touch upon?
I guess the question for me is like, what's the ideal amount of time to leave between workouts of a particular muscle group? So, you know, let's say you do a push session on 1 day a week. Should you leave it a certain number of days before you focus on that same muscle group again?
Yes, very good question, Andy. So even on this one, there is not like one answer. And so basically, and this is I didn't catch that. So there has been few studies looking at this, and basically the result was that what it matters is the total volume for the week. So what that means? That means that if let's talk about the chest. So what you want to do, let's say you have to do a total of 5, let's say 10 working sets on the chest to grow. So that's your like a magic number for you to grow. Now, if you do 10 sets in one workout in the week, and then you do chest again in the next week, that's fine. That's going to bring a result, but it's going to bring the same results as if I was doing 5 sets of chest on Monday, and then I was doing 5 sets of chest on Thursday. So what is going to make the difference is the amount of volume in the week. And now it comes my opinion. So what I saw working very well is the having a higher frequency even with the same volume. What that means, I would prefer to do the 5 sets on Monday and then doing the 5 sets on Thursday again to get the total 10 sets, rather than the 10 sets on Monday and then leave it to the next Monday. So that's my opinion. And especially, I probably say, look, from beginner up to our level, and I put myself into the category as well, I would say, like, beginner to intermediate. Because, just think of it. If you go and do 10 sets of a chest, if you're really pushing, honestly, if you're really pushing, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th set are gonna be rubbish. Because if you're really pushed, the intensity is not gonna be there anymore. So I rather keep 5 sets, knowing that I'm gonna give it all. I wanna be exhausted by the end of the 5th set. Then give a few days, right? And then let's say on the first day, I will go again and smash it again. So, for example, we probably grew up with this bro split where, on Monday was chest, on Tuesday was back and biceps. And this was the training that like bodybuilders do, like pro bodybuilders, because obviously, they can bring a different level of intensity to the workout. So they might be able to do the chest on Monday and they don't need to do it until the next Monday. So, it goes in sensation as well, right? So if you train the chest on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday is still recovering, then, you can train again on a Thursday or a Friday, right? That would be ideal. So if you do a full body workout, then that's going to happen. Actually, with the full body
I guess, would you leave a minimum, let's say 2 days in between?
Yes. So, it depends, because sometimes if you do a full body workout, let's say you train on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, you can actually train, it's going to be like 3 sets on the chest. You can do 3 sets on the Monday. You can repeat 3 chests on a Wednesday and then on a Friday. So I would say probably 2 days in a row, it's a no-no. But how often you're going to do it is going to depend on how intense and how much volume you did. So the more intense and the more volume you do, the more time you will need to recover from it. And the less you do, the more often you can do it. So, yeah, I would say it depends. And I like, and you probably noticed this from the workouts, I like to change it. I like to change it through the year. And, as the time goes, sometime we will train maybe chest 3 days a week. Maybe sometime we do only twice a week. Make sense? Sorry, it's always a lefty. I can't hear you. Hang on. I'm mute.
Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So just to summarize, make sure I've understood. So volume throughout the course of the week is the main thing, but then also making sure that you can have the intensity in the workout and recovery in between.
Yeah. So, I would say minimum give a day rest in between the same body part as a rule of thumb, and maximum a week.
Yeah.
Anything in between, it would be depending on volume and intensity. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Which I know it's a broad answer. So do you have any question, Andrea? So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna go through some examples of, you know, how I will plan a week. So to give you some ideas, you know, on how much you should train regarding, you know, goal, experience, and, you know, all that. So example number one, this can be a beginner with a goal of muscle building. So in this case, what I will do, I will stick to 3 lifting sessions per week. Full body. So each session has a low volume per body part. And then you repeat that kind of, you know, for 3 times a week. So I found that to be a very good balance, and it works very well for beginners. Then a natural progression for that would be to, if possible, of course, would be to ramp up to 4 sessions per week. And then in that case, what we can look at divide maybe 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. Oh, I think Andy ran out of battery. So 2 upper body days, 2 lower body days. And so there will be 4 sessions a week. And I will probably going around these 2 versions. So 3 sessions full body and 4 sessions upper lower, or another variation could be a push and pull still on 4 days. And eventually it can go up to 5 days a week, having a push, pull, and legs, and then repeat. So maybe have a day rest and then go push, pull, and then have rest, and then go again with the legs, and then just going again. So imagine A, B, C, rest, A, B, C, rest, A, B, C, rest, with kind of 3 days work, 1 day rest, or 3 work, 1 day rest, with 2 work and 1 rest. And that's for muscle building. So I will probably optimal between 3 and 5. You can go to 6 if you have the time. It can be done. Again, the push pull legs, it's very good for you know, if you want to train 6 times, because basically you're gonna do every push muscle twice, you're gonna do every pull twice, and then you're gonna touch the leg twice, and you have enough time to rest in between. Because, you know, if you do push on a Monday, then you're gonna do push again on a Thursday. So, you know, similar to what I said earlier, giving that few days rest in between. So I will start from 3 days a week, and then as you probably in a year time, if you have the time, maybe go up to a 6 days a week with a push-pull legs kind of split. So this is for muscle building. Now, for weight loss, for fat loss, then honestly, I'll probably stick to 3 to 4 lifting sessions. And then, as I said earlier, I will play with the cardio increasing with the time. So for example, if I was to do, and I'll give you an example of what I'm doing now. So you can start with 4 days lifting, and you can do 2 days cardio, half an hour cardio for 2 days, and 1 day you rest. You do that for 2 weeks, and then when you can bring it up. So now 4 days a week lifting, and I'm gonna do cardio 3 days. So I'm training every day. Obviously the cardio is gonna be low intensity, so it's not gonna impact my recovery from the lifting. And I'm only doing half an hour. I do that for 2 weeks, for few weeks, let's say 2 weeks. And then what I can do, I can bring up from 30 to 40 minutes of cardio. So you see what I'm doing, I'm slowly increasing the cardio. Obviously my body will adapt, and it's key to keep the intensity low here on the cardio. I don't want to push it, otherwise it's going to affect my recovery from the lifting. So again, if you can train every day. You can. It's how you play with the intensity of the sessions that is going to make the difference. You cannot go all out every session, every day, because otherwise you're not going to recover. And recovery is going to be crucial for whether the goal is. If you want to build muscle, obviously muscle is built on the recovery, not on the training. You train to stress the body, and you build the muscle when you rest. So if you're not resting, you're not building muscle. And training too much can stress your body. And if you stress your body, then even fat loss is going to be hard, because then your body just hormonally, or the hormones are not going to be there for you to lose fat efficiently. So I know some people might think that, more is better. And I've had clients that it was really hard to stop them to train. They really wanted to train every day, and often too intense. And my goal there was to kind of slow them down. And as counterintuitive as it sounds, it makes a difference. So there, if you're pushing too hard, too often, you will see better results by slowing down than, bring it up. Even because, as I said, you need to go step by step. You see, 2 weeks, you add 10 minutes extra cardio. 2 weeks, you add another 10 minutes. If you're already pushing 2-hour sessions every day, 7 days a week, what's the next step? There is no next step. You can't do more than that. So you need to be smart on how you play with these intensities, durations, and all these things. So yeah, that's my view. I know it's a lot of information, but I think you just need to be objective when you look at it. Zoom out, look, okay, what I've been doing. So look at your history. That's what I do a lot with, for example, with both of you, actually, both Andy and Andrea, in the last few weeks, I've been asking, okay, so what you've been doing? How often have you been training? What can you do? So having an idea of where you're coming from, training wise, how often have you been training in the last few weeks, in the last month, in the last months? That's really important to understand where you're going. Because of course, it might be a matter of you need to train less, or you need to train more, or maybe train differently. So knowing where you're coming from, it's fundamental to know where you're going, more than, there is ideal, and then there is your ideal. So obviously where you're coming from is gonna play a major part in how you're gonna move forward. So just make sure you increase over time. If over time and smart, and yeah, it's although it's a lot of things to think about, it's easier than it looks. You just have to be honest with yourself, and if anything, you can always increase the intensity even if you train less. So yeah, any question, guys? No, let's say, let me unmute yourself. Yes.
So I was reading an article, and they were saying to hypertrophy.
Yes.
Right? So if you do like one more set in that session, it allows to grow you more apparently. Is it that true? Is it correct? Is it sustainable to do over time?
Yes, so very good point, because another way to progress over time, it's, it's not always the case maybe to train more. You can actually, you can do 3 sessions a week, and the way you can do it, increase the intensity into the workout. So, for example, if we were at the gym, or in every case, you can increase the number of reps, you can increase the weight, you can increase the number of sets. So
Yeah.
even by training 3 times a week, for example, over time, you can increase the volume, intensity of the workout. For example, maybe, you can do an extra set. So, if you do for, let's say, for 4 weeks, 3 sets of 10, then what you can do, you can up to 4 sets of 10, and that will bring you to have more volume, which is going to bring more growth, more results, even with just training 3 times a week. So yeah, very good point. It's not just a matter of how many sessions per week to do, but you can also add more volume and more intensity into the workout that you're already doing. And we have weight, we have tempo. You can also increase with the tempo.
Yeah, tempo.
Reps and sets. So there is actually, yeah, there is also one more: rest time. How much you're resting between exercising, between sets. So you have rest, reps, sets, tempo, and weight. So you have probably I'm missing something, but these 5 factors are the one that comes in my head. And by playing with this, even if you only can train 3 times a week, you can still make progress over time. 100%, especially for muscle building. Yeah.
And how it works about the rest in between sets?
Yeah.
If you wanna,
So what you can do, you can it depends, right? You can decrease the rest between sets. So what that's going to do,
go to failure, basically. Like,
yeah, so basically, for example, and this is something I use, maybe week 1 you rest 1 minute between exercises. On week 2 you rest 45 seconds between exercises. On week 3 you only rest 30 seconds. So what's going to happen there, you're going to increase the density of the workout and the intensity, because now you're going to be doing, let's say, 3 sets. Instead of in 10 minutes, you're going to be doing in 5 minutes. So basically you're doing the same amount of work in less time, which is going to increase the intensity through density. So yes, that's another way. And obviously, as you can imagine, increasing the intensity will potentially burn more calories, and it's going to make the exercise more challenging, even with the same weight and same reps.
yeah, I noticed that because yesterday I was doing the last rep with less rest, like time rest. I couldn't finish the 12 reps.
Yes.
Like I went to failure, basically.
Yeah. So you see, that's good, because for certain type, for example, for hypertrophy, it's good to go to failure, especially on the last set. So on the last set, getting to that point is very beneficial, because it means that you worked your muscle to exhaustion, to failure. If you were doing let's say 3 sets of 10, and you get to the end where you can probably say, oh, I still have loads of reps left, then that might not be as good for hypertrophy. And it's different, if you do strength work, it's going to be different. So when you do strength work, maybe you want to do a different kind of you want to play differently, but in this case it was good. So in this case, that means now what's your goal? your goal is maybe not next week, maybe in 2 weeks, being able to have the same amount of rest, using the same weight, same exercise, but being able to do the extra 2 reps.
All right. Yeah.
So that's going to be progress. That's going to mean that you're getting stronger, your muscle is getting stronger, or at least you're gaining more like muscle endurance, muscle stamina.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's actually a good thing, you know, to have that. When they happen, you know, there is room for improvement. So now your goal is, you know, to achieve that for the next week or so.
Yeah, exactly.
And then what I will do, let's say if you were at the gym or even with playing with the tempo, if you're doing just body weight work, I will try, when I can do 12 reps, then I can still going up. So I'm okay, now let's do 13, 14, 15 reps. So you increase, you know, increase the reps, it's going to increase the volume. Or I can make the exercise more difficult through tempo or weight. And then perhaps, you know, going back to less reps. So, you know, going so hard that you can only do 10 and then taking a few more weeks to go up to 12. So basically you go, you know, you make something hard, then you're trying to do more reps, more work, then you make it hard again, and then you try to do more work, then you make it hard again. So you're always progressing. You know, let's say you were doing push-ups and the first week you're doing 3 sets of 10. Maybe in week 3, I would try to do 3 sets of 12. Then in week 6, I would try to do maybe 4 sets of 12. You see, now I increase the sets instead of the reps. So over time, I'm always doing more work, even in the same session. So I don't, maybe, you know, I don't need to add another session during the week. I keep the same session, but I'm increasing the volume in the same session. Awesome. Okay, so that's it. Let's call it a day. This is recorded, so it will go on the group as well. Thank you for the amazing questions.
Welcome, mate.
And
I appreciate it.
you're welcome. And I will talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.